Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to come with a different style of video. It's not just going to be about Spurs. We're going to talk about football in general, everything that happens around the world of football. And as usual, we have Ben.
Hello.
There we go. Um, so yeah, we're going to change up the style of videos that we do. We're going to do some more interesting top tens, some news around the world type stuff. And for the podcast section of the week, we'll talk about just general football, the fixtures that are coming up, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna look at the Premier League table first. I mean, some lead that City have there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a joke at this stage. I mean, you might as well just give them the title. They did lose their winning streak, but I mean, they're still like what 14 points clear. So with eight
Yeah,
games to go, well, I mean, United have a game in hand on them, but like, yeah, it's not happening. Like they're gonna win. They're gonna win the Prem. They'll probably win the League Cup against us. Depending on their draw in the FA Cup, they'll probably win that, and then the Champions League, they're probably favourites to win that. So
yeah. I mean, we're going to the
fun.
Champions League as well, but do you think they have it in them to win the treble or quadruple even?
Um, I think they win the domestic treble, but then it just depends on um like how they perform in the Champions League and how their opponents perform in the Champions League. Because um they've got Dortmund in the quarterfinals, and a lot of people like sort of wrote off Dortmund saying, "Oh no, City will destroy them," which they probably will because Dortmund are having the best season. They're fifth in the Bundesliga, but just that pairing of Haaland and Sancho is just ridiculous.
I mean,
But to be honest, I don't think they really stand a chance. But I think Haaland and Sancho will surprise a good few people. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll flop. Who knows?
who knows? I mean, if City were to go off and win everything possible, there's still a lot of games between now and the end of the season. Then, um, whether that would affect them that much, considering the size of their squad, yet to be seen. But I mean, it's incredible how far ahead they are of the entire league. It's almost like no one's even
Yes.
talking about them anymore because just given up. Like really,
Yeah, it's the league. The Premier League itself has sort of turned into like, oh well, you know, there hasn't been a title race since like 3 years ago when it was like Liverpool and City, and even then they were like 20 points clear of third or something like that. Whereas now, obviously, Liverpool have dropped off with injuries, etc. But now it's more of like no one's really talking about the title race. Everyone's talking about the race for top four, even the race for the Europa League, and then the relegation battle.
I mean,
So
if you look at how close the points are between second and 12th, there's 20 points. Seems like a lot, but in reality, that's what 6, 7 games. For a 12th
yeah,
place team this far into the season, if they're able, statistically, if they're able to get to the top to get to second, like it's possible, then it's mad. It's crazy how that's possible.
yeah,
You know, I mean, statistically, Arsenal can still win the league, which obviously it's unlikely and never going to happen because it's Arsenal. But
yeah. Um, yeah, you're right. It's not gonna happen. But like the fact that the 10th place team can still win the league, um, it shows obviously there's a big lead between City and second, but it shows how close the teams below City are in terms of points. Like, for example, West Ham are 9 points off second. They were in a relegation battle last year,
that's
um, and all the only players that they brought in were Ben Rama, um, Sufal, and well Lingard in January, but they're not like they sound like Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, or anything. And they're in a push for top four. So it shows how close the majority of the teams in the league are.
Would you say West Ham are overachieving in that sense?
Probably. Um, I think they're playing well, obviously, but yeah, they are probably overachieving compared to sides below them that like have better squads. Liverpool obviously with the injuries, but like um, I'd probably say they're overachieving, but still, like credit to them, they're playing well, so they keep that up, they can really push for Champions League football.
I mean, the fixtures they have left are not going to help them. They have Wolves, Leicester, Newcastle, Chelsea. Uh, to be fair, it's nothing terrible, but they'll have to fight if they want to get to that top four spot.
Yeah, definitely.
If we move then to the FA Cup, some interesting fixtures coming up this weekend with well, we saw yesterday Southampton beat Bournemouth 3-0. It was, fairly obvious Southampton were going to win, like with no disrespect to Bournemouth, just a bigger side, Southampton, and if Bournemouth were to win, it would be considered a giant killing. Um, and then City beating Everton with 6 minutes to go. Gundogan strikes, and then De Bruyne strikes in the last minute to seal it for City. And today we have Chelsea, Sheffield, and Leicester United. I think Chelsea Sheffield is probably a more predictable game.
Yeah, I mean Sheffield are going to get steamrolled. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I read something that since Tuchel's taken over at Chelsea, they've conceded 2 goals.
12 matches since he's taken over.
Yeah,
That is incredible.
and then they beat Atletico Madrid, who have been the sort of outstanding team in La Liga this season. I know they're only 3 points clear now, but at one stage they were um like very clear. It's probably because of Trippier getting banned and such and such. But yeah, to beat a team like that 3-0, especially with the players that they had suspended in the second leg, uh, Mount, Jorginho, and Thiago Silva, I think was either suspended or injured. But they're like 3 key players to their sort of system to not be available for the match, and then they still won 2-0. So yeah, Chelsea are. I think Chelsea have sort of. I think they have guaranteed that last fourth. I think they've guaranteed top four. It just depends on how Leicester finish because um, with the injuries that they've had, I know they have a lot of players unavailable, but they're still winning games. So it'll be interesting to see how Leicester finish because something very similar happened last season, where they were in sort of third and then they finished fifth due to their injuries. But
I mean, big injuries there at Leicester. Harvey Barnes and Jamie Madison. Yet to see whether Harvey Barnes will be available for the Euros, but I do think James Madison should be back for that. Um, so then Leicester Man United. What do you think will happen that game? Who will dominate and what will be the score?
um, I will say Man United will probably win. Um, However, both teams are sort of struck in an injury crisis at the moment. Um, Obviously Leicester more so than United because United still have Bruno, and that's basically the whole team.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think Man United will win. Just because they have a stronger squad than Leicester's right now. But that's the magic of the FA Cup. You never know what happens. So, but
yeah,
I would say Man United win.
yeah. I probably agree with you there. With that one, I say United will dominate as well, given their like possession, like the ability they have to hold the ball at times. Of course, Rashford is also probably not going to play that match, so a big
Mm.
miss for them. And Martial still injured. Uh, the quarterfinal draw for the Champions League happened on Friday, with the 8 teams remaining being drawn against each other. With Real Madrid playing Liverpool on the 6th of April, City playing Dortmund same time. Uh, then Byron playing PSG, which would be a big clash considering last year's final. and then Porto Chelsea on the 7th of April with Bayern PSG. What do you think of those fixtures?
Amazing as a neutral. Um, well, I mean, Chelsea and Porto. I know Porto are good and they knocked out Juventus, but the way Chelsea are playing right now, I don't really think they have a chance. But I don't know. Um, but the other three are where it becomes a lot more difficult, especially Bayern, PSG, and Real Madrid and Liverpool. I think City and I spoke about City and Dortmund earlier, but I think City will win. Um, Bayern and PSG. I'll say a Bayern win because PSG aren't in the best of form right now. Obviously, they beat Barcelona, but I think I'd say my Sunday league team could beat Barcelona right
Yeah,
now. Yeah, I'll say a Bayern win in that one. Um, just because Bayern are top of the Bundesliga as usual. Um, so
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I don't really. I think Bayern will win this one, but I think PSG will definitely have a chance next season once Pochettino brings in the players that he wants, because obviously he took over the job mid-season and he hasn't had a transfer window. So um, well, he hasn't had a full transfer window. He came in like halfway through January, but
yeah,
yeah, I think once Pochettino is able to buy players for his system rather than just rely on Neymar and Mbappe, um, which I still don't even know whether Neymar's back from his system. I mean, a bit injured. Um, Yeah,
yeah.
but I just think it's a Bayern win, and then Real Madrid and Liverpool. I think this is difficult to predict because um Liverpool fans are obviously going to cry about their injuries, but they probably haven't realised that Real Madrid are currently this season have the most injuries out of any team in history.
This is days wise for each player. How many days they're out if you add them up? For anyone wondering how he calculated that. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Liverpool's team has been stricken by two positions that have been injured. They brought in reinforcements. You know, they shouldn't be too worried about their injury crisis compared to Real Madrid's injury crisis, and the fact that buying players like they usually do hasn't been done in the last few windows. Their league form has dropped off significantly from about 3-4 years ago when they were killing it. So it'll be an interesting tie to predict because you look at Liverpool in the form they're in and Real Madrid in the form they're in. Yeah, with Zidane and Klopp coming up against each other, it'll be an interesting tie. Hard to predict as well, um, but I guess that's the magic of the draw and the way that the draw happened. Uh, so from your 8 teams left, which four do you think will? So what do you think the semifinals will be?
Well, the semi-finals is what Chelsea and Porto play the winner, or the winner of Chelsea and Porto play the winner of Real Madrid and Liverpool, and
Yeah,
then the winner of Bayern PSG plays the winner of Man City and Dortmund.
yeah.
So, I'm imagining that Chelsea will go through. I'm imagining that Bayern will go through. I'm imagining that City will go through. Between Real Madrid and Liverpool, uh, it's tough to say actually.
Do you know what? I'd probably go Real Madrid.
Um,
Uh,
I was going
because
to say I'm going to go for Real Madrid because go ahead.
because I feel like the Champions League final and it'll play on both teams' head, and I think Real Madrid might just get the edge there for confidence. But I think it'll the match or two before that game will have a huge effect on the actual game itself.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I think Real Madrid are coming into this game. They haven't lost a lot of games this season. They've only lost what 4 games in the league. I'm not sure how many in the Champions League. Probably a bit more because of the horrendous group stage campaign that they had. But yeah, I just think coming into this game, Real Madrid full of confidence. Liverpool haven't won at Anfield in what feels like about 12 years. So I think the confidence of Real Madrid, coming into it, they're in good form. Liverpool aren't. That's why I'm going to say Real Madrid.
Yeah. So let's go even further than this. So you're saying Real Madrid will play Chelsea and City will play Bayern.
Yeah,
City Bayern obviously would be an incredible match, as will
yeah.
Real Madrid and Chelsea. Who would you say for the final?
We'll start with Chelsea and Real Madrid because I feel like that's an easier decision to make, even though it's still difficult. Um,
It's tough. It's
I
almost
think
easier to predict the final than it is to predict the semi-finals.
the
Really.
semi-finals. Yeah. Um, I think obviously Chelsea are in good form, but I just don't think they have the quality of players. I mean, obviously they're great players. We know that from we've watched Chelsea all season. But I just think Real Madrid, they have so much experience in this. Um, this is the team that won three in a row. Obviously minus Ronaldo, but like
Yeah, most of the
they
players
won
there
three
know how
Champions
to
Leagues
win.
in a row. Yeah, exactly. Whereas I don't think anyone in Chelsea starting level has won the Champions League. None of them are they're from 2012 anyway. As far as I know. But yeah, I just think because of Real Madrid's experience in playing these sort of big matches and winning the Champions League, and the majority of those players in that squad have won it like what 4 times, 5 times. So I think it'll be Real Madrid winning that one against Chelsea.
And
Um,
Man City Bayern.
Purely just based on experience. Man City and Bayern. Oh god.
I think, I tell you what I think. Bayern have Bayern have a consistency of um beating top teams when they play this. They, aside from the odd, loss, but they consistently are able to beat the teams that, a couple years ago they would have been destined to lose. And given that they won last year and it's, pretty much an identical team, you're talking to a team that won 6 months ago, probably knows exactly how it feels, exactly the nerves that are coming. Whereas this City team lost to what, Leon in the quarterfinal stage last season, or what was it, semi-final stage? Um,
yeah, they lost to Leon in the quarterfinals. Yeah,
you know, Probably not as far as they would have liked to go. They probably just some of the emotions that come up after um losing a first leg or something like that. Some of the experiences that you get, like that Real Madrid team would probably have, they probably won't understand some of that, and I think they'll help Bayern a lot more. So probably because of that, I'd go Bayern, uh, purely based on the fact of mentality and confidence, thinking we won 6 months ago.
yeah, yeah. As you said, Bayern will walk into that game saying, "Yeah, Man City are good, but we won the Champions League last year. This is our competition. We won it last year, and we're going to win it again." Whereas City, they haven't made it past the semi-finals, um, ever. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna say Bayern.
Bayern, yeah, and then Bayern versus Real Madrid, an interesting tie. I think
Oh,
Real Madrid with a bit more experience in their ranks, with the likes of Sergio Ramos and all the big players that won the last 4 or 5. I still think Bayern probably take that.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I
let's
think
say some of
Bayern just have
the
a better team than Real Madrid.
yeah, let's say some of the fixtures were reversed, and you know, who do you think would be the two best teams left in the competition that would come up in the final?
As in like aside from
Aside from the fixtures, let's say it was a league type situation. Who do you think would the two teams that would be left in the competition be?
ooh, um, it's a good question. I'm not sure actually. Um, I think Man City definitely has to be up there because in terms of like the longevity of a season, the squad that they have is just a joke. They can rotate so much, and it's like it's the same team. Um, so I'd say if it was a league format, Man City would probably definitely, in fact, would definitely be up there. Um,
I'd probably say Bayern City. I think.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe Bayern Munich because Bayern have incredible depth as well in the majority of their positions. Um, so if it was going to be in the league format, yeah, I'd say City and Bayern.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think for from us, I think that's probably it. We like to hear from you in the comments. So write something down. Do you agree with us? What would your Champions League dream final be like? Follow us on all our socials, on our Instagram and our um, TikTok, and the links will be in the description. Thank you for listening to us, and goodbye.